And the finals are interesting because I'm playing not only against a friend, but for those who've been watching the stream for a little longer, or for those who were watching my winners interview after top 4, know which might be a bad matchup for this team. And there is a certain team. Do you consider the matchup? Okay, so silent. The matchup is like terrible. It is terrible. It is not really good. Because, especially against Lewis. I played against Lewis in Victory Road tournament. Like, I played against him once in a Victory Road tournament, once in a Limitless tournament, and he's a friend of mine. So we both know how we play against each other. We played on ladder when I was still playing ladder in Regulation H in September. No, October was it? No, before the Dortmund region, September. But no, Zama is really good in that matchup. Would it be better with Araquanid? Infestation? Nah. No. Yes, Michi. In my winners interview, I said, now I can say it, the worst matchup is CSR Zama plus Rillaboom. Yeah, like that is usually how you approach it, Bush. But I know how Lewis plays, he knows how I play, so it's a little weird. And so game 1 starts, okay? And the game starts in an interesting way because if he switches to Rillaboom, I could immediately knock out Rillaboom with Flare Blitz Draco, right? And I could make the read. As you can see, I'm hovering it. But Lewis is a player, you need to understand, against me, what he always does against me is, when I played Flutter Mane in the Limitless and Victory Road, so I played Flutter Mane with Shadow Ball, and he played his Citrus Berry Calyrex Shadow Rider, and I'm like, he's either going to Terra or to Protect. I click Icy Wind. He doesn't Terra, he doesn't Protect, he clicks War Nasty Plot. I mean, you saw it against Alexander. For those who saw the top 4 match, he risked getting knockoff from Incineroar. He doesn't Terra, he just clicks War Astral Barrage. He plays very aggressive. He's one of the most aggressive players I know, and that's why E-Drift, that's why I go back one step and I U-turn Electro Drift. Well, it would still be a speed type event, Fizzler. And also, Bush, the question is, which Pokemon do I drop? Like, if you say I bring Calyrex, like, I have to bring Incin, I have to bring Kelly, and Shifu, in your opinion. So, do I not bring Miraidon? But yeah, here, the situation is a little weird. I should have T-waved the Rillaboom, because T-waving it means it can get fully paralyzed at any time, and my Ice Rider can more easily go for Terra Water, because if I do not go for Terra Water, I can get Wood Hammer. Like, Astral Wood Hammer is a pretty bad pin, but if Rillaboom is paralyzed, Calyrex Ice Rider would outspeed the Rillaboom. But yeah, here, I already know what is going to happen next turn. I can still T-Wave with Rillaboom. Why am I not T-Waving with especially because Incineroar is now in. Why am I not T-Waving with Rillaboom? As you can see, I'm also locking in my moves really fast. And this is where I will explain myself. Before the match started, I knew that my train was leaving in 50 minutes. They told me you have 55 minutes to finish the set. Not to finish the set, like I with winner's ceremony. I even asked, what if I win? Can we skip the winner's ceremony? Because I had 55 minutes. The good thing, like the station is 5 minutes from the venue, so we had like 50 minutes to finish. Not the set. You know what I want to say, right? Starting the set and then leaving up until the point where my train leaves. There are 50 minutes in between. Ours in the finals, game 2. Yeah, like with AV Miraidon, it's a completely different thing. We are specs, so we take way more from Astral Barrage. We have no Snarl. But yeah, so just have to cook quicker. So I went for the most optimal game 1 game plan. Like, I obviously watched the semifinals and knew what happened there. So I figured that this is the best line for... We will get to that, BGF. I knew that we will get... I knew it. So, game 1, I know that this is the best line, and I will see how long it takes. And I switch Grim here, because Calyrex is just a very good switch-in overall. And I get a ton of damage into the Zama. Again, I could have also clicked T-Wave, but I'm also taking the damage on Zama. And here, in this position now, something very weird happens. Because we all agree that my best play is to click Trick Room, Electro Drift into Shadow Rider, right? Electro Drift into Shadow Rider and Trick Room. But I'm like, okay, hold on. Electro Drift, Trick Room. He cannot take the Electro Drift with Shadow Rider. He just loses if I click Electro Drift, Trick Room. It's literally instant game. And I see White Guard. Nasty plot. And I'm like, this is a joke. This is a joke. Like, I would have done 60% to Shadow Rider, set up the Trick Room, and then I have Miraidon and Kelly Ice in Trick Room. And he cannot protect Zama because he just White Guarded. Next turn I can click Terror Water, Glacial, Electro Drift into Zama. Or even Electro Drift Shadow Rider again, but I probably would have Electro Drifted Zama. Nonsense. Like, not nonsense because it worked out, but rough. My plan was, since in my opinion he doesn't click White Guard, he probably clicks Body Press Astral Barrage immediately, was to remove the Zama, then click Protect with Kelly Ice, switch Miraidon into Insyn, fake out the left slot and go for a Terror Water Trick Room, and set up Trick Room, and then in 5 turns win the 4v3. But now, okay, so I'm thinking about this play. You know why? I have no attack drop on my Calyrex. I didn't get intimidated or parting shotted, and the Zama is in range for Glacial. And a very likely play for him is to click Astral Barrage, Body Press into Miraidon. That would KO my Miraidon. But if I go Terra Fairy, I survive that. And I thought my Calyrex might survive +2 Astral behind Light Screen. I was not sure, but that's why I think about clicking Glacial, Terra Fairy, E-Drift. Completely stupid play, but you understand the thought process, right? But then I'm like, okay, no, maybe it's just toss my Miraidon, take less damage on Kelly Ice, and then win with Kelly Ice in Trick Room. But the problem is, with Instant Grimsnar Kelly Ice, the opposing Incineroar is just super stressful. And we see another White Guard. And White Guard was interesting. And we see a Straw Barrage. And it did 107. So I would have not survived it without terroring. But I get the Electro Drift off. And now the question is, what do I want to click? His Zama cannot protect. His Shadow Rider can. I really want to KO the Zama, but I also don't want to give him a free opportunity to go for Astral Barrage, and that's why I Electrode with CSR and go for Leech Seed. Like, even if he protects CSR and KOs my Miraidon with Body Press, then I get Incin in, and he cannot fake out both Incin and my Ice Rider. So then I have Glacial Lance Flare Blitz, kinda. But even better, he goes for White Guard. And I get the knockout with Leech Seed. And I'm in a very good position now. Calyrex below half, Incin half, Zamazenta gone, Calyrex 70%. I still have screens up. I still have Trick Room up. So I'm in a good position. But I'm actually in a already winning position because here I can just switch into Incineroar for free. Glacial Lance Incineroar switch. Or I can play it even slower. But no B2K because as I said, if I go Terra Fairy, or like, I didn't have any Intimidate on my Calyrex. I can go for Terra Water Glacial. He takes a ton of damage, but yeah. You mean Protect Body Press? But as I said, when I get Incin safely in, and then I can just click Glacial Lance Flare Blitz. He cannot fake out both Incin and Ice Rider. But yeah, I clicked Glacial Lance Electro Drift, and the reason was that, again, I thought I'm in such a big lead, I can probably just attack until the game ends. I really want to catch my train. You need to know that I already missed my flight in Stockholm and I had to book a new flight. And that was terrible. I had to stay another night as well. I had to book a flight for 7 a.m. And here, now I have a guaranteed win. Or pretty much guaranteed win. Not this turn, but the turn afterwards. Well, Snoopy, there was no other option both times. Like, I couldn't take a later train. Bergson, stay tuned. I will explain everything in 2 minutes, like after game 1. So I Leech Seed Calyrex here. And now, you know what? This is a guaranteed win. Here, I cannot lose. Okay. I'm so upset about watching this. Okay, can someone tell me how I lose if I click Glacial Lance plus Flare Blitz into Incin? Which play, or what is the play he can go for that wins him the game? We still have Trick Room up. We still have Trick Room up. Or do we not? We do have Trick Room up, yes. 1 turn. Exactly. If he protects Kelly and parting shots, okay? Since his Incin is faster than my Incin currently, I KO the incoming Rillaboom And then the leech seed will also will stick on the CSR, and I just win. No, it's just -2. He has access to protect. It's just -2. And if he clicks knock off on my instant, for example, to remove my AV, next turn I can flare blitz the CSR, and if he switches into Willa, I get then I can switch Kelly to Grim, set up a new light screen in the following turn, and if he stays with CSR, CSR dies, and then I have my instant still for instant and Willa. And my instant is faster than the Willa, so the Willa doesn't get a wood hammer off on my Kelly Ice, and you know? Like, even if it doesn't KO, Leech Seed, Life Orb, I have a guaranteed win here by clicking Glacial Lance Flare Blitz into instant. I guess, what if he clicks Protect, Knock Off, removes my AV, and next turn, since Trick Room ends, he has Helping Hand Barrage. But then, next turn, I obviously Protect Kelly Ice, and I Flare Blitz Shadow Rider. Does +2 Helping Hand Barrage? I mean, I get Helmet Recoil as well, but also Grassy Terrain Recovery. But he probably KOs me, right? Since I had no light screen anymore. Helping Hand +2... No AV. Yeah. So it was not a guaranteed win, but I don't know. So yeah, we see the Protect. We see the Parting Shot. I think so, yeah. Well, he should have gotten the knockoff on instant at any time. Well, if he goes for a knockoff, since I switched to Grim, it wouldn't KO because I click Light Scream Flare Blitz the next turn. And then either Shadow Rider or Willow dies. But again, here I can go for another safe play. Twisted Dimensions return to normal. Why do I not click? He does not have Helping Hand. Yes, he has Fake Out Pressure. But why do I... But still, Leech Seed and Life Orb. Can I not just click Spirit Break into Calyrex and Flare Blitz into Rillaboom? I know I'm -1 with Grimmsnarl, but still. My instant is faster than the Rillaboom as well. He has to Fake Out the Grim. And then, what does he do with the CSR? Strahl Barrage. He takes Life Orb damage. Drops to 20. Then Grassy Terrain 26, Leech Seed Recovery. Which means the next time he attacks, he dies. But if he plots again, he next turn I can just click Light Screen Flare Blitz into CSR. Like, I just disagree with my U-turn Spirit Break play into CSR. Like, that seemed terrible. But since he clicked Wood Hammer and died to the recoil, we are fine. And I also died to a recoil. And here, now, I know that he has Helping Hand, and he can still click Terra Dark as well. He didn't Terra yet. With Spirit Break, yes, it was very good for me actually. Having Kelly Ice -2 Grims on the board would have not been great, because then he can fake out Calyrex and Nasty Plot, and then Helping Hand Astral. But here, I decided to just click Flare Blitz Glacial because I didn't want to risk a crit. I think the better play would have been Flare Blitz Trick Room, honestly, because if he clicks Protect first and knock offs the AV and then goes for Helping Hand Astral, it could have gotten dicey. U-turn would have not KO'd the Willa because my instant was -1. So I either Flare Blitz the Willa or do something entirely else. But we saw the timer popping up, right? And I told you about my train situation, right? And Lewis, I don't blame him for that, but he's taking his time thinking about how should he approach game 2, taking the cheat into the hand, using all 45 seconds and then clicking Terror Bug Helping Hand. That was crazy. But one second, I gotta respond to someone really quick. Yeah, Terror Bug Helping Hand. And I knew, okay, I have to catch my train. Otherwise, I have big problems. I also have to, I have to get home for Monday, because Monday I have an appointment with a doctor, okay? So, we just saw that this game lasted 20 minutes, technically, with team preview and everything. So I knew, okay, my train is departing in half an hour. I have to win game 2 in 2 minutes. I have to win in 2 minutes to catch my train. Like, after team preview and everything, I don't have a lot of time. I have to win very, 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 very fast. Now, so after game 2, I knew I was not going to catch my train and I have to figure something out. But at that point, I was like, okay, I will just try to win this in 2 minutes. I will just hard read the shit out of him. And we see the Lando Tower, the Grim Tower, and I'm like, yes! No tower on the CSR, and then the fake out. And if he clicks Nasty Plot now, or gets paralyzed, or I crit the Earth Power, the game ends actually in 2 minutes. It does not. The game could have ended in 2 minutes, where with a crit, with a full power, or with Nasty Plot instead of a Astral Barrage. But that is the context nobody had for the game 2. But I would never click something like that in a final. Like, you know me. Like, this is not me. And here I'm like, okay, I have to go for either that he protects CSR or that he gets parried. Or maybe he swaps CSR. Like, now that it's paralyzed, I have to get a little lucky. I can also Flare Blitz crit the Willa. Then Earth Power gets redirected into CSR. And then, yeah. Like, if Flare Blitz crits here and Rilla dies and CSR dies, next turn I switch Incin into Kelly Ice, click Protect, switch Kelly Ice back into Incin, because when I survive Heavy Slam, I can Earth Power his Incin and I just win with Kelly Ice, because both are intimidated, I leech CGG. You might ask, why did I bring CIR in the end instead of Miraidon if I went for this fully offensive game plan? I don't know. I honestly do not know. Well, in my game plan, yeah, in my head, Willowboom would have been way longer life. Like Willowboom Zama, I would have rather had Kelly Ice instead of Miraidon. But yeah, at that point, game 2 was over. And I knew, okay, bye-bye train. See you next time. And let's play a real game 3. I go for the same lead as in game 1. And he goes for... Is it the same lead? I think it is actually with... No, he led with Incin in game 1. And again, if he switches to Incin, and I click... I could click Draco U-turn into Incin, and the game actually ends. Or not ends, but it is a very good position for me. But this time I thought, okay, we saw how both of us played and stuff. There are 2 plays. He fake outs Miraidon, or he switches Shadow Rider immediately, or he does both. I don't think he clicked. I was like, I don't think he clicks Protect, Switch. And he switches. And protects. I hate playing against balance. But now it's the other way around. Because many of you know that I switch my Miraidon here. And the interesting part is that if he fake outs my Incineroar, I lose the game pretty much immediately. But I'm so far behind already. Like, against a hard matchup, being that far behind is not something you wanna see. At least I get his Terra, so now Dazzling Gleam is very effective, and I can fake out the Calyrex, which is good to maybe set up a Trick Room if I get an instant Kelly Ice board. Fake out Trick Room, Glacial Lance, U-turn, I don't know. And here, I should have gleamed. Ask, why did I not gleam? Okay, maybe if he switches into Willa, but still, he's at 75. Surely this still KOs. This does nothing. Damn. Miraidon on his ass. I should have not gleamed. Since I cannot use Terra Fairy on my Miraidon that easily, I rather want to use Terra, like a very surprising Terra Ghost, where he doesn't click Astral Barrage or Terra Water. So I set up Light Screen here. And Draco with Shadow Rider. Why do I Draco instead of Electro Drift? In case he switches to Willowboom. And now I was like, okay. Miraidon is threatening a knockout. Grimmsnarl not, because Grimmsnarl just got parting shotted. So that's why I'm switching into Incin. And clicking Spirit Break. Hi Asuka. And he fake outs with Miraidon slot, so that worked. And I get a Spirit Break off. Currently he's at +3. Keep that in mind, +3. And here, I have a guaranteed win. I guess not, like, I have fake out press up. Do we all agree that he, does he even KO my Grimmsnarl? Like, the biggest counterplay, I think, is a Straw Barrage Woodhammer into Grimmsnarl against the play I just wanna tell you. Hold on. Shadow Rider. 156 plus 3 against Grimmsnarl behind light screen. 46 to 53, and Rillaboom just got intimidated. It's a roll in his favor. Depends a little bit on how much attack he had, but like U-turn Rilla, Spirit Break, Shadow Rider is guaranteed because we saw that he switched into Incin. And then I can go into Calyrex and just click Terra, Water, Glacial, Spirit Break. He cannot fake out both. And even with Helping Hand, both my Pokemon would survive the turn. And he cannot protect again. And he would take Life Orb damage. Like, yes, he can fake out Kelly Ice to survive the Glacial Lens, but I think Spirit Break after Life Orb would still KO. I guess he can click Fake Out another Nasty Plot, but then he still takes the Spirit Break and only gets 1 boost and drops to 10%. Reflect Flare Blitz was one of the worst plays I've ever seen. And now, you could argue that I could knock off the Life Orb, and maybe I should have done it, but I thought maybe with Flare Blitz I put him in Lorb range. But no. And now everybody said his play here, and I honestly cannot punish it that much. Knock off Instant Protect. What I should have done is switch into Calyrex with Incin. Well, since he clicked Helping Hand Barrage, no. But on Knockoff Protect, switch Incin into Calyrex, and then click Protect and toss Grimmsnarl, then get Incin in again and go for Fake Out Trick Room. No, he didn't think it would kill. He thought he doesn't even kill Grimmsnarl. And it was actually a roll against Grimmsnarl. He thought it does not kill Grimmsnarl, so he should go for it now because my instant switch into Calyrex, as I just said, it is an option. Yeah, he thought he would switch. Like, this is one reason, and the other one was he thought it doesn't kill Grimmsnarl as well. And now somebody has to explain one thing to me. Why on earth do I, like, what speaks against Electro Drift Zama, Glacial Lance? Protect Knockoff? It's funny because it would have just closed the game right here. But I targeted wrong. And now, I don't know why, but I just knew that he would not click Fake Out with Rilla. As you can see, I Leech Seed the Rilla because the problem is if he goes for Fake Out and I switch into Incin and he goes for Fake Out Body Press into Miraidon and I switch into Incin, then I have Miraidon in electric terrain and then he has to make a weird decision because if I knock out Rilla with Draco and he got like if he doesn't protect Zama, I can knock out Zama with Electro Drift, and Willa Instant are not going to win. If I knock out Willa with Draco, he is also not going to win because Terra Water, Leech Seed, Kelly Ice would 1v2 Zama and Instant. And that's why I just knew that he wouldn't go for it. And I crit. And yes, the crit was game deciding. But again, it was game winning, but not game deciding. Like, it's not like if I don't crit, I always lose the game. Because it would have come down to a 50 afterwards. Because, let's say I don't crit here, Zama still drops to 25. Like, the Electro Drift still does 60. He would take, get Grass Drain, take Leech Seeds. And then, the interesting part is that I can click Glacial with the Horse. And he has to switch out his Zama at some time, right? Because otherwise, it dies. But I get my Instant in, okay? So he has to KO Miraidon first, then I get my Instant in. If I read the Zama switch and I Flare Blitz the slot, plus Glacial Lens, again, Terra Water, Ice Rider 1v2s these both, especially if Zama doesn't have a defense boost anymore. So he also cannot switch. But if he doesn't switch and I click Fake Out Glacial, I made the math without a crit, Fake Out Glacial, like Leech Seed here into Miraidon Toss into Leech Seed again, into Fake Out Glacial, into Leech Seed again, could have KO'd the Zama nonetheless. So it would have come down to a 50-50 basically. Because his Instant can also not KO my Instant, and when my Instant is faster than Virilla, I can Flare Blitz Virilla, you understand. But yeah, that was my tournament one. A little fraudulent in the end. I think my stream sets were pretty well played overall. If you think about which condition I was in. But yeah. If you wanna take a look at the team, like I will still show for those who didn't see it, and I'm also sorry for those who didn't want to get spoiled. I switch to Instant. I protect so that he doesn't get a knockoff Wood Hammer, both crits into Kelly Ice. But even then, I just Fake Out Willa, Electro Drift Instant, and then Flare Blitz Willa. So yeah. I missed the train, but luckily there was one person who picked me up, and it was crazy. Like the logistics. I still feel bad about it, but yeah. I think Leech Seed Kelly is decent. It's something you should definitely expect. Well, super. Would you go with a stranger? Like, let's say I'm looking out for someone who gets me home, and then a fan says, "Oh, I'm getting you home, no problem." And then you go with all your stuff into that car. I do not recommend that. Especially if you think about the fan I mentioned earlier. Or like the fans I mentioned earlier. Body Press Calyrex is not legit. Body Press Lumberry Imprisoned Calyrex is not legit. The Shohei team, not Shohei, Suika team.